Okay, good morning, everybody. 0, 0, 0. Good morning, everybody. Looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day. We're super excited about that and the sunshine. Oh, if I could get everybody's attention, good luck, right? I love that about this church. It's so great. Everybody's just smoozing and having a great time. All right, well, I'm just going to talk over you then. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, we're getting some people back in their seats. That's great. I know, really. Ann knows. Were you a teacher? All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, welcome to this incredibly beautiful community, everybody, where we strive to live the highest truths taught by unity. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. Wherever we are, God is. Yeah, and you can feel that here. So thank you to all of you who are deep in your hearts when you come here every Sunday and during the week, and for the radiating that divine love and light that you are. We really all are benefiting from that, so thank you. So first of all, we'll welcome anybody that's new. Is anybody here for the first time? Want to raise your hand? I won't ask you to speak. Okay, we got somebody back there. Did you get a welcome handout? You're good. Okay, awesome. We have a great welcome team that is taking care of that. There's coffee behind you and treats. Feel free to grab one. You can have it in the sanctuary, so make yourself at home here. And then we do welcome our online participants. And I wanted to make a special comment to you guys that are watching us online, or anybody that tries to watch a service, maybe after, rewatch a service. We've been having some technical difficulties, and we are just so grateful for your loyalty and hanging in there with us, because our numbers are still actually pretty good online. But we have a solution coming, so just hang in there with us a little bit longer, and hopefully we'll have a really reliable signal going out for you on the services. Our speaker today is Mike Hawes, a very long-time member here, so I'm excited to hear what he has to say. The reader is Kellee James, and the musician is Elise Wonder. Yay! Our prayer chaplain today is Robert Hudgens. Robert, if you'll just stand up. He'll be in the Myrtle Room down this hallway for about 10 minutes after the service. And then I believe there's a prayer chaplain meeting at 11:20 in the Roomy Room, so if you'll go there. The Unity Youth Program is studying the 12 Powers by Charles Fillmore, and we heard Nancy speak on those last week, so that's what they're doing back there. So they're learning how action, when used with divine power, can fill us with courage to discover our confidence. I love that. I think I'm going to turn it over for a second. Everybody come on up. Looks like maybe for 10 minutes. We hope not. Go fast.
Good morning. I'm going to pass around a clipboard. It doesn't have anything on it. I just want to do that. Actually, it's springtime again. It's time to think about joining a walking group, a Unity walking group. We did it a year ago, had some great times. And so I'll pass the clipboard around. Give me your name, your phone number, and what times are best for you during the week. And then I'll set up a time and a location and email you. And I'll make a few announcements here also. So if you also want to have any questions afterwards, see me in the foyer. Thank you.
He's going to start doing the jokes.
I know, right? That was a good one.
This Friday night is The Greatest Showman. I've never seen it before, but I hear it's really good and a lot of good music and things like that, uplifting. Come and join us. And then the Marketplace fundraiser is open in the back. We're getting people to participate and sign up for events. And we need your events or service in by April the 19th so we can start selling them on the 20th. And there's lots of good stuff back there. And if you don't know what you could do, there's a booklet that has ideas. Thank you.
She's really getting you there. Hurry, a little shorter, not much.
Okay. Who has sweltered or frozen in the roomy room? Raise your hand. Sweltered or frozen? Who hasn't? So we had the furnace and AC malfunction, as you might know, and it's been going downhill for a long time. So we got a quote last spring, and the low bidder honored the quote, and we have just fixed the furnace and AC, including a pass-through vent for Julie, so she doesn't freeze or swelter. And the thermostat is in the roomy room, so it will increase our functionality for building usage. So we have paid for this, and we're asking for money. So $12,380 to do that. If you are moved to be part of the heat in this place, we would welcome some donations for our system. That's it for that. And you're so ready. If you are feeling moved to speak on Father's Day, think about it. We need a come from your heart Father's Day speaker. Let us know. Thank you.
I get a microphone again. Woohoo! Sorry, Steph. You can't hear me, really?
I was going to take it away from you.
Oh! Love in Action today, 10:20, 10:15 in the Friendship Room. All right, we would have everybody leave, you're right. 11:15, 11:20. Please join us, we'd love it.
Really quick, this is the last day to sign up for this Saturday's cleanup and painting party, so I'll just pass one clipboard around. Yes, it's a party because we'll have snacks and lunch, so it is kind of a little party, so I'll just pass one because I got quite a few sign-ups last week, so thank you for those.
You were a salesman in a previous life.
I was a Navy recruiter.
Oh, there you go. That's it.
Since the rest of the congregation is making announcements, I thought I should come up here too. I wanted to just recognize 4 people. As you know, Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute, which is Unity Seminary, has graciously allowed us to present classes right here. And we have 4 individuals that completed the first class for credit. And I just want to give them the names, and here's certificates for them if they see me. Elise Wonder. Anisha Kuhn. Gwen Anderson. Here comes Gwen. And Barbara Weimar. Anisha. And
I'm accepting for Barbara, she's not here, or do you want to hold on to it?
tell her thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Congratulations, everybody. That's fabulous. I will be in the back by the new art display, if you want to check that out. That's all thrifted items that Leanne has collected over the years. It's beautiful artwork back there, but that's the new art wall. But I'll be back there being your personal geek in case you need to link your King Supers card to Unity. They give us 5% off whenever you enter your card number, or it's really your phone number that you enter. When you shop there. So there's that. And then if anybody just needs a little help walking through bookshop.org just to see how it works, they give us 30% when you buy books online through them on our page. So if you need help with either of those things, I will be back there after the service. Real quick, we do have some more license plate frames that say Unity of Fort Collins. So they're in the bookstore if you want to get one today. And also, we're still taking orders for the 50th t-shirt. We have to have a minimum of 18, and we're close. We're like at 14. So, but I'll probably close it. I might have, excuse me, one more week of taking in orders, but don't wait too long, because once I place the order, I can't just like order 1s and 2s after that. So if you want one, make sure and get one. There's women's and men's styles. think that's it. Oh, lunch bunch is going to Blue Agave today at 11:30. Okay, that's pretty good timing. We did good. All right, if we'll everybody take a deep breath. Oh, find your center, and we'll say our unity prayer together. Our unity centers us in light and peace, allowing us to recognize God within and to radiate that love to the world.
Good morning, everyone. Do you like my poncho? I love your poncho. It was just gifted to me by Lisa. Lisa handmade. Did you say in the 60s? In the 60s, she's worn this to Elton John concerts and Fleetwood Mac, and I loved it so much I put it on immediately. So I haven't even seen myself in it.
Well, yourself looks good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I have been running, man, doing a lot of music in the best ways. I've been very busy in the best ways, but we just had a great sold out Nirvana cover band, Vernana, at the Atrium on Friday, so that was lovely. We're playing John Prine on Sunday, a week from today, and then getting ready for Folkholm X. And it's always an adventure with music. My distortion pedal went out right before our Vernana show, and this morning, Gerald, it makes sense. Gerald thinks it's my guitar. We'll see when I get home. But I just want to give a big shout out to Gerald and Richard, who is our sound man, and it does a really great job. It rarely gets any applause, so let's give them a hand. And I know John Kuhn and other people. I think Robert, you help out with sound sometimes too, so thanks everybody who does that. I'll be playing a song. This is actually written by Blaze Foley, but John Prine covers it, so I'll be playing it next Sunday. And I chose this because of Mike's theme for today, and it's one of my absolute favorite lines of all time. I'm tired of running around looking for questions to answers to questions that I already know. Well, forgot them. 1 second. Going down to the Greyhound station. I'm going down to the Greyhound station. Gonna buy a ticket to ride. Gonna find that lady with 2 or 3 kids and sit down by her side. Ride all night until the sun comes up and round about 2 or 3 towns. Smoking cigarettes in the last seat, trying to hide my sorrow from the people I meet and get along with it all. But down the people say, oh, feed the pigeons some clay, turn the night into day. I'd like to say, but I might have to go to start over again. Might go back down to Texas, might go to somewhere I've never been. Up in the morning and go out at night so I don't have to go home. Get used to being alone, change the words to the song and start singing again. I'm tired of running around looking for answers to questions that I already know. I could build me a castle of memories just to have somewhere to go. Count the days and the nights that it takes to get back in the saddle again. Sing a song with a friend, change the shape I'm in, and start talking again. Well, I know what to say. I'm I'm going down to the Greyhound station, gonna buy a ticket to ride. Gonna find that lady with her kids and sit down by her side. On the nights and days, get back in the saddle again. Sing a song with a friend, change the shape I'm in, and start singing again. We had to mic my guitar this morning, so I'm so not used to having to stay here. I keep on wanting, but I have to be like that right here. All right. All right. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. All right, and now we have a lovely reading by Kellee James.
How'd that work? It's not. Okay. Is it on? Do I turn it on? How do I do that? I'm sorry. Okay. There we go. Good morning. This poem is by Joy Harjo, who is a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, a very creative woman, and was Poet Laureate of the United States at one point. It's called For Calling the Spirit Back from Wandering the Earth in Its Human Feet. Put down that bag of potato chips, that white bread, that bottle of pop. Turn off that cell phone, computer, and remote control. Open the door, then close it behind you. Take a breath offered by friendly winds. They travel the earth, gathering essences of plants to clean. Give it back with gratitude. If you sing, it will give your spirit lift to fly to the stars' ears and back. Acknowledge this earth who has cared for you since you were a dream planting itself precisely within your parents' desire. Let your moccasin feet take you to the encampment of the guardians who have known you before time, who will be there after time. They sit before the fire that has been there without time. Let the earth stabilize your post-colonial insecure jitters. Be respectful of the small insects, birds, and animal people who accompany you. Ask their forgiveness for the harm we humans have brought down upon them. Don't worry. The heart knows the way, though there may be high-rises, interstates, checkpoints, armed soldiers, massacres, wars, and those who will despise you because they despise themselves. The journey might take you a few hours, a day, a year, a few years, 100 years, 1,000, or even more. Watch your mind. Without training, it might run away and leave your heart for the immense human feast set by the thieves of time. Do not hold regrets. When you find your way to the circle, to the fire kept burning by the keepers of your soul, you will be welcomed. You must clean yourself with cedar, sage, or other healing plant. Cut the ties you have to failure and shame. Let go the pain you are holding in your mind, your shoulders, your heart, all the way to your feet. Let go of the pain of your ancestors to make way for those who are heading in our direction. Ask for forgiveness. Call upon the help of those who love you. These helpers take many forms: animal, element, bird, angel, saint, stone, or ancestor. Call your spirit back. It may be caught in corners and creases of shame, judgment, and human abuse. You must call in a way that your spirit will want to return. Speak to it as you would a beloved child. Welcome your spirit back from its wandering. It may return in pieces, in tatters. Gather them together. They will be happy to be found after being lost for so long. Your spirit will need to sleep a while after it is bathed and given clean clothes. Now you can have a party. Invite everyone you know who loves and supports you. Keep room for those who have no place else to go. Make a giveaway. And remember, keep the speeches short. Then you must do this. Help the next person find their way through the dark.
If God had a name, what would it be, and would you call it to their face? If you were faced with them in all of their glory, what would you ask if you had just one question? Hey, yeah, God is great, and yeah, God is good, and yeah. What if God was one of us? Just a slob like one of us. Sing along if you want. Just a stranger on the bus, trying to make his way home. If God had a face, what would it look like, and would you want to see? If seeing meant that you would choose to believe in things like heaven and the Jesus within, and all the prophets singing, yeah, God is great, and yeah, God is good, and yeah. What if God was all of us? Just a child like all of us. Just a stranger on the bus, trying to make their way home. Trying to make their way home. Back up to heaven and them. Nobody calling on the phone. And yeah, God is great. And yeah, yeah, God is good. And yeah, 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 yeah. What if God was all of us? Just a child like all of us. There's an angel on the bus trying to make their way home. Trying to make their way home. Back up to heaven here at home. Back to the place where we are known. Where no one's feeling all alone. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, we'll let these finish. Like one of us, just a stranger on a bus, trying to make his way home. You know, I wanted to put 120 pictures into that. That was so much fun going through all those pictures. Elise, thanks for that song. That was just awesome. Kelly, thanks for the reading. Paul, Courtney, Nina, I think a few others have put some pictures together, and I had a blast going through and looking at pictures. You saw some that you probably recognize, and those of us that have been around here longer saw some pictures from the past, and some younger pictures of people that are still here. So, but yeah, what if God is all of us? And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. One thing I do want to say before that, though, is that one of the things I've liked about, you know, you've been here for 30 years, or almost 30 years, is that I've always thought of Unity as sort of the original Charles and Myrtle Fillmore intent of a school and when they were learning. And so I love it that there's so many people talking about what they think. And that implied in that is that you take what you want and you leave the rest. I mean, there's a lot of different points of view that are coming up here, and that's the way I want you to take my talk today too, is that if resonate, great. If not, it's all good. Just leave the rest. Okay, let's see here. Get the next one going. Can I have a little help, Sue? Maybe, I'm not sure this is great. Oh, that could be it. That could be it. So our basic 5 principles, you probably have heard different talks about those, and my belief is that if you read through these, there's questions. To be here, we've almost somewhat self-selected as a group that's questioning some of the answers that we've had as when we've grown up, ones that we might have. And I believe that the type of people that are kind of inclined to want to come to unity are ones that question your answers. You're really trying to understand, does that fit? Does that work for me? I'm not quite sure. So that is the intent about questioning answers. I want to talk about, it's sort of a major thread for me through my spiritual journey. And so I want to go through a little bit of my life, talk about some of the situations where I was questioning answers, questioning myself, trying to understand what made sense. So a little background, I'm an Air Force brat. I grew up in a military family. My dad was a helicopter pilot. Very, very warm, loving family, and very conservative. And this is a picture of me at the reflection pool. I'm the one stiff as a board onto the left there, doing what I thought I was supposed to do, a sort of salute. And I was early to mid-elementary school at this point. Things had pretty much gone as sort of I'd expected. But soon after this, in D.C. area, we found out a couple of assassinations that happened with MLK and also Robert Kennedy. And I was old enough to sort of start absorbing a little and understanding, what's going on with that? As an Air Force child, I moved around a lot when I was growing up. 18 years I was with my parents. I think every 2 years on average I would be moving. And this was a fairly tumultuous time. A couple years after this, my dad went to Vietnam in the war. We had to move to Texas for 2 weeks for the summer, or 2 months for the summer. And then I spent the first half of 5th grade at a school in Florida. And then we went to California to be with my family for a year when he was overseas. And we went back to Florida for the last half of my 6th grade. Then went back to California for the summer. And then I ended up in Utah. This is a picture of me as an Eagle Scout when I was 14. I had done a little bit of scouting when my dad was overseas in California when I was there. But this was definitely a situation where we joined a Mormon Boy Scout troop, and there weren't a lot of other Boy Scout troops around. I love the outdoors. There's a lot of wonderful things about the Mormons, and my family really learned a lot about them. But a lot of people struggle to get their Eagle Scout by the time they're 18, and I'm 14 here, and I have my Eagle Scout. I went into the system. We lived there 2 years. I went into the system, and I kind of felt like I was just a cog and churned out, and boom, I pop out the other side with an Eagle Scout award. And this has really questioned me thinking about, in particular, you look at my face. I'm kind of forcing to try to be happy, but in my mind, I'm going, what just happened? There wasn't a thumb on the scale. There were both feet on the scale behind, pushing me through the system. And I don't tell hardly anybody about being an Eagle Scout. I'm not proud of it. I don't really feel that I really deserved it. And there's a lot of people that put a lot of effort and work into, getting this award or this badge. So this started a little bit, in junior high, the end of junior high, just questioning, that didn't feel good to me. And today I still am not so much about awards and that kind of stuff. And I think it's because of that. I went to school, college, got an engineering degree, and then because of all the traveling around that I did, I knew that I loved to travel. I was starting to, in my early 20s, realize who I was and decided, you know what, I want to go on semester at sea. So I did that, yay. 40 years ago from Robert and Ann when they went. And my first experience was in Japan in a big bus trip taking us up to Tokyo and on the trains and stuff. Went to Korea. There was a partial big trip there, and then I had a chance to go to China. And back then, China had only been open up about 6 years, and so it definitely was a bus trip. But I had these opportunities outside of that to actually connect with people, and I was quickly realizing that being prepared, and this is something that, especially my mother, is like, eliminate all risk. Be prepared. Do everything you can so you will have control and you'll understand, is it going to rain? Is it going to snow? And so I just constantly was thinking a lot about that. On these bus trips, you just kind of jump on and they eat, and you go to see this thing, go see that thing. Oh, no, sorry, you don't have time to do that. You need to jump back over here. By the time I got to Sri Lanka, I had figured out I like to just connect with a couple of people and wander off and get lost. The being prepared, and there obviously there's good about being prepared, but when you put too much structure or what you think you need, there's a little bit of an arrogance that goes along with it that you don't know what you think you need. And what I discovered back when I was 24 was, my gosh, when I let go a little bit and just let life happen and go to I loved going to homestays, and I think, Ann, you had talked about that just go into a home and you get to meet real people and what they do. We ran into things. We went to a market when I was in Sri Lanka, and I tasted 7 different flavored mangoes. One of them was peppermint. This peppermint flavor and a mango. I was like, oh man, it was just, I would have never been that if I just hadn't stumbled around the middle of Sri Lanka for a while. And we had a driver, and we got to know him and know about his family. We went on a hike in a rainforest, and I talked to somebody who was talking to us about the leeches and all the animals and stuff like that. And he had a master's degree, and he was going to go through an arranged marriage. And I was like, arranged marriages for somebody as educated as him? And we had an incredible conversation where I had answers question about a union between 2 people, a couple. Oh, so you let the family do that. And I can't count the number of situations I had on this trip where I had lots of my answers questioned as people talked about what they were experiencing, and you really had to, a little bit of this questioning your answers, and there's a quote on the front with Mark Sloniker, is you've got to have a little control of your ego. Do you really know all the answers? You have to kind of realize, maybe I need to be a little more humble in thinking about, there's more to learn, and it's good to test what you have and understand, but to just assume that you've got the answers wasn't working for me. Fast forward, came and was working in a high-tech company, and all the jobs were moving overseas. I was in electronics, so I went back and got some education, took some graduate classes in bioscience. And so the question that just came to me a lot more is science fact. How many of you heard studies about coffee is good for you? No, coffee's not bad for you. Oh, how about a glass of wine? No, 2 glasses of wine are okay, and that's healthy. And the changes that, especially if you've been around a while, you've heard changes about what's healthy for you, what's not healthy for you. There's this thing called reproducibility crisis, where they're trying to reproduce these peer review, and it's just not, a lot of what we've had is not reproducible. So I believe the scientific method is probably the best that we have to try to figure things out, but it's not fact, for sure. It's not specifically fact. I learned about the placebo effect, which I think probably most of you heard about this placebo effect, is that they have to kind of do the experiment such that you don't think you have it, because then, that's mean. Their experiment's not going to work real well to find out if the change they made in the food or whatever it is they're trying to see impacted, if you know or you think you have the answer, or you have a placebo in the case of medicine. There's a nocebo, which is the opposite. If you think things are going to be bad, well, they might just be bad. So you have to be careful, a little careful with that. So I had some success with the placebo effect. And my favorite principle, number 3, I create my experience by what I choose to think, what I feel, and believe. Really? Can you do that? Can you choose? And can that impact things? You know, I've had some success in doing that. After all the overseas stuff that I had done when I was younger, Kimber and I, or maybe more me than Kimber, wanted to move overseas. And so I put a lot of effort into it, and it took probably 6 or 7 years, but eventually we were lucky enough to move to Hong Kong. So having an intention and being able to move forward, I've had some success at this point, but it really hadn't gotten tested. And it will in just a second. El Salvador 2013, so some of you are familiar with our efforts to go to Guatemala. We've been going there for about 10 years. We've taken, probably 8 to 10 different trips to Guatemala. Before that, Peggy took a group to El Salvador, and it was for 2 weeks, and was primarily students. She was still working at the Geller Center at the time. But there were 2 or 3 or 4 adults, Kimber and I being 2 of those, that went on this trip. And is it better to give than receive? This is really a complex one, and I'm going to have to give you the Reader's Digest version of this, because this whole giving and receiving, especially in the context of going to a third world country like El Salvador, is just, there's landmines and sort of sorting through that. There's this kind of, I think, we have, excuse me, have a lot of money. Where's my water here? A wealthy nation going and trying to find, or going to nations that are not as wealthy, and so there's giving that happens, and that's often one way. So there is a giver and a receiver, and that doesn't make room for the humanity of the receiver. And I think you might have mentioned this too, Ann, in one of the talk. It's kind of the white savior syndrome, where you're coming in and you're giving. And so this is a picture of a cloth that I purchased from the woman that I was living with. So we lived with families. She was the matriarch. And real quickly, El Salvador, they had guerrilla warfare. The U.S. was funding some of that, and they were in this Santa Marta is the village that they were in. It was about 3,000 people, and they were basically, their houses were burned, and they had to go across the Olympia River over to Honduras and become refugees and get away. And I didn't know Spanish well, not that I'm still working on it, but this woman read her story to 3 of us that were living in her home for about a half an hour, and it was describing this event. And yeah, I didn't know Spanish, but this nonverbal language and just looking and listening. She was going through this. It was just coming back for her. It was a very, very intense, and I think it's the best gift that I gave was sitting and listening, acknowledging, and part of that sort of taking on, well, maybe what was the part of the U.S. involved in this. So this giving and receiving is really tricky. Cindy, who you probably know, who's gone down to Guatemala with us, has a story about a woman at the end of one of our trips came up to her. She had talked with her briefly throughout the trip, but she had 3 eggs, and she gave the 3 eggs to Cindy. And I think about that giving. That that maybe was half of her meal or family's meal that day. And when we give, it's a little different situation. We've got a big stockpile of stuff, and I'm not saying we don't give, but this woman gave half of a meal that she had, and that is just, we're beginners when it comes to giving and receiving compared to some of the situations that I've run into. So this has continued to make me think and question. Fast forward to 2014, I got the news 11 years ago, actually, that I had stage 3 esophageal cancer. Do I really trust Unity's principles at that point? I mean, esophageal cancer is not a good one to get. It doesn't have typically good outcomes. So I thought, okay, I got to throw everything I got at this. I got to do everything I can. And I started right here at Unity. Right here. We were at a choir rehearsal, at the end of a choir rehearsal. And that's when I started to let people know that I had cancer and I needed their prayers. I needed their thoughts. And I was right here, and the choir formed a circle around me and blessed me. And I can remember looking at Terry Meyer, and I was just trembling. I was just trembling. I think it was a release that maybe things were going to be okay. I'm really not sure. But I just went for it at that point. I let everybody know. I email blast everybody at work. They found out about it. There's a wonderful website called Caring Bridge, and it allows you to talk about situations like this. And so I blogged on the Caring Bridge and invited all my family. My mom and her church, Methodist Church, back, she was telling everybody. There was just lots and lots of love coming. And those first couple of years, I cried a few times. Most of the time it was because of everything I was receiving, because I know I couldn't give back. I couldn't say, okay, you give me something, and next time we go out to dinner, I'll buy dinner or something. No, I had to learn how to receive. And I was shocked how much good there is out in the world in receiving people I didn't know. I really tested my answer when there was somebody at work who came to me, and he was a conservative Christian. He says, Mike, I want to pray with you. And then he was an acquaintance, and I'm thinking, why the hell not? I mean, why am I blocking? So we went in a room, and he's become a good friend. So I really, really had a big test at this point, and I gotta move to the next slide here and move on. So I'm newly retired by a year and a half. Golf, fishing, TV, I haven't touched the golf clubs. Fishing maybe once. TV, I'm sorry I don't watch more TV with you. But what I do is volunteer at an elementary school just down Vine Street called Irish Elementary, 3 afternoons a week. I teach and help them with fractions. Y ellos me ayudan con español. It feeds my soul. It feeds my soul. And yes, I continue to have, especially there, my answers questioned. Yeah, thank you.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is everywhere. And every thought's indeed a prayer.
So I want to share the meditation that I used to get me through cancer. I've said this thousands and thousands of times, mostly silently, during my chemo, during my 6-hour surgery, during my radiation treatments, during my PET scans, when I was anxious, when I was trying to go to sleep. And it was a lifesaver, literally. And I use box breathing if you've done yoga when I say this. So it's basically for each of the 4 lines, and you can do it in first person, second person, or you can use we, depending upon your focus. During the first one, I'm breathing in. During this second one, and then I hold it with intention for a while, and then the second one I'm breathing out, hold with intention. Third one I'm breathing in, hold with intention, and fourth line breathing out, hold with intention. It's hard to actually voice it when you're breathing out, but it's may I be well, may I be happy. May all things go well for me. May I be peaceful. So go ahead and close your eyes if you feel comfortable with that. And if you can use the breathing, this breathing really helps calm your parasympathetic nervous system. And there's a lot of benefit come to that. So we'll just have some silence and go ahead and say it a few times.
May the blessings of God rest upon me. May God's peace abide in me. May God's presence illuminate my heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate our hearts now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon us. May God's peace abide in us. May God's presence illuminate our hearts now and forevermore. Now and forevermore.
Hello. There it is. Wasn't that beautiful? And certainly Mike is the epitome of service. He serves this congregation in so many ways. He's on our council. He's involved in youth programs and on and on and on. And Elise, and you that developed all those pictures, we ought to do that occasionally again. That's beautiful, wonderful, very meaningful. So thank you, Mike, for making our morning. And yes, it's better to live in the question than in dogmatic certainty. I agree. So thank you. Well, it's time for our offering, and I'd suggest you take your offering in your hand and give with the attitude of gratitude. That's where we're just thankful for whatever we give, whatever we have to give, be it little or great. It's the attitude of gratitude that makes a difference. So let's bless it. Divine love through me rests and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
think you own whatever land you land on, and the earth is just some dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk in the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or ask the grinning bobcat why he grins? You need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. You need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You need to paint with all the colors of the wind. Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around us, and for once never wonder what they're worth. The rainstorms and the rivers are my brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends, and we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or whether we are white or coppered skin? You need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. You need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You need to paint with all the colors of the wind. How high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or ask the grinning bobcat why he grins. We need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. We need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind. I said, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I said, here on the corner of Lines and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, here on the corner of Lines and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. Here on the corner of Lines and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
These are our littlest unitics.
Well, today we started a new unit on the divine power of order. So we were talking about order in our universe, order in our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. And they created some things. Gabe, you want to go first?
We learned that divine order is balance expressed through us by our body, mind, and spirit.
We made trays today that showed balance and imbalance. You might not be able to see, but there's clothespins and corn pieces that look pretty balanced. And then there's too many corn right here that shows imbalance. So yeah.
And Emma, you did balance today with baking what? You made hamburgers. You put hamburgers together, didn't you? And you had a balance and an order with it, right? And they looked wonderful. I'm hungry.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here today. Okay. And talking about today, I think today's the first Sunday of April. We have a special guest here who's going to help you celebrate.
It's the first Sunday of the month, so it's birthday Sunday. Oh boy, look at all these people out here. So if you have a birthday in the month of April, thank you, we'd like you to come up here so we can sing happy birthday to you. Kristen. Just Kristen. That's enough. So tell us your name and the date of your birth.
My name is Kirsten, and my birthday is the 18th.
And now we're going to sing to you. Ready? Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kirsten. Happy birthday to you. Sorry about that.
Well, thank you. It looks like that you should be 1/12 of this audience up here. There's some of you that are hiding. I know it. I know it. Okay. Let's go ahead and close our service. There's a Love in Action meeting after the service. And Sharon, someone going to conduct it? You know? Is someone going to conduct it? Sharon's not here.
Oh my goodness. I don't know.
I think it's next week. Okay. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.